Okay, but I don't want to breathe that much. Or you can.
Raj, can you see if there is an adjustment? Because everything seems to be, oh, you know what? This also needs to be pressed on. Yeah. Okay, now we're okay. So shall we do the practice chanting? So while they do the adjustments, we can start. Om Mama Upatta Samastha Durita Kshayatvara Shri Parameshwara Prithiyartham Vidya Siddhiyartham Cha Aham Idam Pujam Karishye. Om Gajananam Bhutganadi Sevitam Kapitha Jambu Phalasara Bhakshitam Umasutam Shoka Vinashakaranam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Panchakam. Om Sumukhaya Namaha. Om Ekadantaya Namaha. Om Kapilaya Namaha. Om Gajakarnakaya Namaha. Om Lambodharaya Namaha. Om Vikataya Namaha. Om Vignarajaya Namaha. Om Vinayakaya Namaha. Om Dhumaketave Namaha. Om Ganadhakshaya Namaha. Om Phalachandraya Namaha. Om Gajananaya Namaha. Om Vaktatundaya Namaha. Om Shurpakarnaya Namaha. Om Herambhaya Namaha. Om Skandapurvajaya Namaha. Om Shri Siddhivinayaka Swamine Namaha. Om Spatikaraditavarnam Mauktaki Akshamalam Amritakalasha Vidyam Jnanamudram Karagre Dadata Muruga Kaksham Chandrachudam Trinetram Vidrita Vividabhusham Dakshina Murtamide. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mahyam Shriyam Medham Pragyam Prayacha Swaha. Om Karas Dakshinamurtaye Mahyam Shriyam Medham Pragyam Prayacha Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mahyam Shriyam Medham Pragyam Prayacha Swaha. So you can just follow after me. Om Omkara Simha Sarvendraya Namaha. Om Omkara Simha Sarvendraya Namaha. Om Omkarodhyana Kokilaya Namaha. Om Omkarodhyana Kokilaya Namaha. Om Omkara Nida Shukaraje Namaha. Om Omkararanya Kunjaraya Namaha. Om Nagaraja Sutajanaye Namaha. Om Nagaraja Nijalayaya Namaha. Om Navamanikyamadhyaya Namaha. Om Navachandrashikhamanaye Namaha. Om Nandita Shesha Maunindraya Namaha. Om Nandi Shadi Madeshikaya Namaha. Om Mohanala Sudhasaraya Namaha. Om Mohambuja Sudhakaraya Namaha. Om Mohandakarataranaye Namaha. Om Mohotpalanabhomanaye Namaha. Om Bhakta Jnanabdhishitansave Namaha. Om Bhakta-jnana-trinalaya Namaha. Om Bhaktam-boj-sahasranshave Namaha. Om Bhakta-keki-ghana-ghanaya Namaha. Om Bhakta-kairavarakendave Namaha. Om Bhakta-koka-divakaraya Namaha. Om Gajananadi-sampujyaya Namaha. Om Gajacharmojwalakritaye Namaha. Om Ganga-dhavala-divyangaya Namaha. Om Ganga-pankila-sajjataya Namaha. Om Gaganambara-samvitaya Namaha. Om Gaganamuktamurdhajaya Namaha. Om Vadanabjitabjashriye Namaha. Om Vadanenduspurudishaya Namaha. So in D there is a double D, D. So you should do that. It should not be pronounced as Varanenduspurudishaya Namaha, but not Vadanenduspurudishaya Namaha, but it should be Vadanenduspurudishaya Namaha. So there's a double D. Om Vadanenduspurudishaya Namaha. Good. Okay. Om Varadanaika Nipunaya Namaha. Om Varavino Jwalatkaraya Namaha. So there also there is a double J. So Varavino Jwalakaraya Namaha. Om Varavino Jwalakaraya Namaha. Om Vanavasa Samullasaya Namaha. Same thing there also, two L's. Vanavasa Samullasaya Namaha. Vanavasa Samullasaya Namaha. Om Vanaviraika Lolupaya Namaha. Om Tejaf Bhunjaganakaraya Namaha. Om Tejasamapi Bhasakaya Namaha. Om Vineyanam Tejaf Pradaya Namaha. Om Tejomaya Nijashramaya Namaha. Om Damita Nanga Sangramaya Namaha. Om Darhasa Jitanganaya Namaha. Om Dayarasa Sudha Sindhave Namaha. Om Daridradhana Shevadaye Namaha. Om Kshirendu Spatikākārāya Namaha. Om Kshirendu Mukutojwalaya Namaha. Om Kshiropahara Rasikaya Namaha. Om Kshipraishvarya Palapradaya Namaha. Om Kshipraishvarya Kshipraishvarya Palapradaya Namaha. Om Kshipraishvarya Palapradaya Namaha. Om Nana Bharana Mugdhangaya Namaha. Om Nari Sammohana Kritaye Namaha. Om Nada ब्रह्मरसास्वादिने नमः। ॐ नागभूषणभूषिताय नमः। ॐ मूर्तिनिन्दितकन्दर्पाय नमः। ॐ मूर्तामूर्तजगत्वपुषे नमः। ॐ मूलाज्ञानतमोभानवे नमः। ॐ मूर्तिमत्कल्पपादपाय नमः। ॐ मूर्तिकल्पपादपाय नमः। ॐ तरुणादित्यसङ्काशाय नमः। ॐ तन्त्रीवादनतत्पराय नमः। ॐ तरुमूलैकनिलयाय नमः। ॐ तप्तजाम्बूनदप्रभाय नमः। ॐ तप्तजाम्बूनदप्रभाय नमः। ॐ तप्तजाम्बूनदप्रभाय ॐ तत्त्वपुस्तोल्लसत्पाणये नमः। गुड। ॐ तपनोडुपलोचनाय नमः। ॐ यमसन्नुतसत्कीर्तये नमः। ॐ यमसंयमसंयुताय नमः। ॐ यतिरूपधराय मौनिने नमः। ॐ यतीन्द्रोपास्य विग्रहाय नमः। ॐ मन्दारहाररुचिराय नमः। ॐ मदनायुतसुन्दराय नमः। ॐ मन्दस्मितलसत्वक्त्राय नमः। ॐ मन्दस्मित जैसे ॐ मन्दस्मित ॐ मन्दस्मितलसत्वक्त्राय नमः। ॐ मन्दस्मितलसत्वक्त्राय गुड। ॐ मधुराधरपल्लवाय नमः। ॐ मञ्जीरमञ्जुपादाब्जाय नमः। ॐ मणिपट्टोल्लसत्कटये नमः। ॐ हस्ताङ्कुरितचिन्मुद्राय नमः। ॐ हठयोगपरोत्तमाय नमः। ॐ हंसजप्याक्षमालाढ्याय नमः। ॐ हंसजप्याक्षमालाढ्याय नमः। हंसजप्याक्षमालाढ्याय गुड। ॐ हंसेन्द्वाराध्यपादुकाय नमः। ॐ हंसेन्द्वाराध्यपादुकाय नमः। हंसेन्द्वाराध्यपादुकाय ॐ मेरुशृङ्गतटोल्लासाय नमः। ॐ मेघश्याममनोहराय नमः। ॐ मेधाङ्कुरालवालाग्र्याय नमः। ॐ मेधाङ्कुरालवालाग्र्याय नमः। मेधाङ्कुरालवालाग्र्याय ॐ मेधापक्वफलद्रुमाय नमः। ॐ धार्मिकान्तर्गुहावासाय नमः। ॐ धर्ममार्गप्रवर्तकाय नमः। ॐ धामत्रयनिजारामाय नमः। ॐ धर्मोत्तरवर्तिनाय धर्मोत्तममनोरथाय नमः
Om Dharmottama-manorathaya Namaha.
Om Prabodhodgar-deepashriye नमः
Om Prabodhodkara-deepashriye Namaha.
Om Prakashita-jagatryaय नमः
Om Prakashita-jagatriyaya Namaha.
Om Prajna-chandrashila-chandraय नमः
Om Prajna-chandrashila-chandraya Namaha.
Om Prajna-mani-varakaraय नमः
Om Prajna-mani-varakaraya Namaha.
Om Jnanantarabhasatmane नमः
Om Jnanantarabhasatmane Namaha.
Om Gyatri-gyadi-viduragaय नमः
Om Gyatru-jnanadividraya Namaha.
Om Gyatri-gyadi-viduragaय नमः
Om
Gyatri-gyadi-vidu
Gyatru-jnanadividraya Namaha.
I see an extra n or something, I'm not sure.
Yeah, actually in the book it's there. Gyatri Gyanadi Viduragaya Namaha.
Oh,
Yeah.
Somehow it's.
I see. Which book is this?
This is the, you sent the
Oh.
electronic copy.
This one.
I see. Interesting.
I think Kalpana also mentioned that in the beginning.
You
Yeah.
also mentioned the same one. It's the
Yeah.
same thing.
It's also two words later, also it's another Yatra Jnanadi.
Okay, number 88 also.
Yeah.
Okay, well I have to remember to look into that. I keep forgetting it. Okay, sorry. Now I can understand. Yes. Jnana Gyadvaita Divyangaye Namaha.
Om Jnana-Gyatru-Divyangaya Namaha.
Om Gyatra Gyanadikulagataye Namaha.
Om Gyatru-Jnanadikulagatāya Namaha.
Om Prapanna Parijatagriyaye Namaha.
Om Prapanna-Parijatagraya Namaha.
Om Pranatarthyaptivadavaye Namaha.
Om Pranatartyabdivadajaya Namaha.
Om Bhutanam Pramanabhutaye Namaha.
Om Bhutanam Pramana-bhutaya Namaha.
Om Prapanchahitakarakaye Namaha.
Om Prapancha-hitakarakaaya Namaha.
Om Yattatvamasi Samvedyaye Namaha.
Om Yat-tattvamasi Samvedyaya Namaha.
Om Yakshageyatma Vaibhavaye Namaha.
Om Yakshageyatma-vaibhavaya Namaha.
Om Yagyadi Devata Murtaye Namaha.
Om Yajnani-devata-murtaye Namaha.
Om Yajamana Vapurdharaye Namaha.
Om Yajamana-vapurdharaya Namaha.
Om Chhatradipati Vishveshaye Namaha.
Om Chhatradipati-vishveshaya Namaha.
Om Chhatra Samara Sevitaye Namaha.
Om Chhatra-chamara-sevitaya Namaha.
Om Chanda Shastradi Nipunaye Namaha.
Om Chanda-shastra-nipuraya Namaha.
Om Chalajatyadi Duragaye Namaha.
Om Chalajatyadi-gurgaya Namaha.
Om Swabhavika Sukhaikatmane Namaha.
Om Swabhavika-sukhaikatmane Namaha.
Om Swanubhuti Rasodadaye Namaha.
Om Swanubhuti-rasodadaye Namaha.
Om Swarajya Sampadadhyakshaye Namaha.
Om Swarajya-sampadhyakshaya Namaha.
Om Swatma Rama Mahamataye Namaha.
Om Swatma-rama-mahamataye Namaha.
Om Hartakab Jata Jutaye Namaha.
Om Hataka-bhajata-jutaya Namaha.
So Jutaye. So Hartakab Jata Jutaye Namaha.
Om
Hartakab Jata Jutaye Namaha. Good.
Namaha.
Hasodastari Mandalaye Namaha.
Om Hasodastari-mandalaya Namaha.
Om Halahalojjalagalaye Namaha.
Om Hala-halojjalagaya Namaha.
Om Hardagranthi Vimochakaye Namaha.
Om Ardagranthi-vimochakaya Namaha.
Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha.
Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha.
Om Shri Dayananda Satgurave Namaha.
Om Shri Dayananda Sadgurave Namaha.
Om Shri Maheshananda Satgurave Namaha.
Om Shri Maheshananda Sadgurave Namaha.
So it's good to, I'll look into that. I think what I will do on those 86 and 88 is to see what the Sailorsburg printout is. This one that I use is from Rishikesh. So it's a booklet that was.
But I thought that you originally gave us, that was from the Sailorsburg Ashram book.
Was it? Okay.
The 108 name, that's the one you
The
have
original.
printed, but the blue book that we have,
Okay.
that's the one you copied.
This is the
Yeah.
No, this is the third one. This is from Tattvavidananda.
Oh.
This is not from Sailorsburg. This is his own publication in India. Okay, so I'll consult all three of them. So there are three sources.
Okay.
That one, really four. One is Swami Tattvavidananda ji, one is Sailorsburg, one is from Rishikesh, and the fourth one is Ramakrishna. So because they also have a very long history of chants. So I'll just remember to reconcile all of them. We'll adopt one, and then if we have to change, we'll change. So at the end of the class, we'll spend some time discussing Swami Tattvavidananda's visit, including giving out some flyers and so on. So we'll leave some time for that. Okay, so we can start the class now. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Tukarastvandakaro Vai Rukarastunivartakaha Andakara Nirodhitvat Gururitya Vidhiyate Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, so today we're going to do verses 5, 6, 7 and 8. 5, 6, 7 and 8 we'll do today. But let's start chanting with number 4, which we did last week. So we'll chant Karika verses of the 3rd chapter, 4 through 7. Ghatadishu pralineshu. Ghatadishu pralineshu.
Ghatadishu pralineshu.
Ghatakashadayo yatha.
Ghatakashayo yatha.
Akashe sampraliyante.
Akashe sampraliyante.
Tadvat jiva ihatmani.
Tadvat jiva ihatmani.
Yathaikasmin ghatakashe.
Yathaikasmin ghatakashe.
Rajo dhumadibhiryute.
Rajo dhumadibhiryute.
Na sarve samprayujyante.
Na sarve samprayujyante.
Tadvat jiva sukhadibihi.
Tadvat jiva sukhadihi.
Rupakarya samakhyascha.
Rupakarya samakhyascha.
Vidyante tatra vai.
Vidyante tatra vai.
Akashasya na bhedosti.
Akashasya na vedosti.
Tadvat jiveshu nirnayaha.
Tadvat jiveshu nirnayaha.
Nakashasya ghatakashaha.
Nakashasya ghatakashaha.
vikara vayavau yatha vikara vayavau yatha naivatmanah sada jivaha
नैवात्मनः सदा जीवः
vikara vayavau yatha
विकारावयवौ यतः
tatha bhavati balanam.
यथा भवति
Sorry, you're
बालानां
right. Yatha bhavati balanam
यथा भवति बालानां
gaganam malinam malaihi
गगनं मलिनं मलैः
tatha bhavatya buddhanam
तथा भवत्यबुद्धानाम्
atmani malino malaihi
आत्मनि मलिनो मलैः
atmapi malo malaihi
आत्मापि
atmapi
मलिनो मलैः
So this is explaining the vision of Advaita Vedanta, which says that like space, there is a single Atma in the whole creation. You don't have multiple Atmas, you have only one Atma, just like you don't have multiple spaces. There is only one thing called space. And so similarly, very, very similar to that is the fact that there is only one I. This is why everybody uses I. There's only one I. There's no multiple I's. Then when you say, I am this, then the distinctions start. So when you say, I am this, just like you say, I think I've mentioned that to you before, that supposing there is a knock on the door, and you say, who is it? So the person says, I, or you can say me. Generally people will say me. It's me. Me who? And so suppose it's your spouse. Then she's going to be very offended, or he is, either one will be very offended. What do you mean who? It's me. Don't you know it's me? So here Swamiji used to say that, wait a second. The name me is for me. Use a different name. Don't say me, that is my name. No, it's not your name. It is the fact that this is your reality. So the reality is the same. The reality means that the where it all ends is the I. That's all, the only one. This is Ishvara's I, really. So in the creation, just look at this. In the whole creation, the first thing in the creation is I. Then comes I am what. Those are all different. I am this, I am that. But it all has one common I. And here Gaudapadaji is explaining that, listen, try to visualize this just like there is a single Akasha, which is a fact. The common element in the entire creation is Akasha. No matter what space you have, what time it is, so it doesn't matter whether it was 3,000 years ago when Mahabharata was there, it is the same Akasha. And the Akasha, which is not, as we know now, is not just inert, but a very powerful source of all energy, powerful source of all forces, weak forces, strong forces, magnetism, the conveyor of electromagnetic waves, all kinds of stuff, very powerful. As it remains the same. not as though it is now changing. This is the old, new Akasha. The old Akasha was different. No, it's the same Akasha everywhere. And if you go to the moon, it's the same Akasha there. That's the first thing that you have to see. So this comparison is presented. So in this comparison, a very interesting I wouldn't say dialogue, but a discussion which is based on doubts and disagreements. So not a samvada. Samvada means a good discussion between people. Vivada. Vivada means when there is fighting going on. So in this whole sphere, there is a fight going on, which we now are highlighting. And the fight is like this, which is, they ask Advaita Vedanta, are you saying there is a single Atma? Isn't that what you said? So we said, yes, that's what we are saying. It's a single Atma. They say, this does not make any sense. Why not? Because you have one person who is happy, another person who is unhappy. So if there is a single Atma, then the person that is unhappy will make everybody unhappy, which actually does happen. If you go along to some people, they are pulling a long face. Pretty soon you try to lift their spirits up, but they are so down that they bring your spirit down. But anyway, that's a separate matter. But the Purva Paksha says, this doesn't make any sense. Everybody has a different Atma. And as you know, our Jaini friends, they are the first ones. This is how the differences occur. This is where the Jain religion started, by questioning, how can it be a single Atma? Because our experience is everybody is different. It cannot be a single one. And here, I don't know if it was, no, it's not given in these. So here Swami Mahesharanji actually spends so there are three segments to this objection. This is Darrell starts with number 5. So let's read number 5 one more time. And then all this 5, 6, 7, 8 is a grouping. I think we can finish all of them today. So number 5 says, Yatha ekasmin ghatakashe rajo dhumadibhihi yute na sarve samprayujyante tatvat jivaha sukhadibhihi. So he says, if you look at the translation by Swami Paramarthananda, the Anvaya, jiva, all jivas, sukhadibhihi tad yatha samprayujyante. So just like all the jivas who are on the surface associated with happiness and unhappiness are not really associated with happiness and unhappiness. Sukhadibhihi yadvat yatha sarve na samprayujyante. So this will be explained, but this is just the word meaning. Ekasmin ghatakashe. So here there are two words used, Mahakasha and Ghatakasha. So Mahakasha means the total space and Ghatakasha means the pot space. So I've been using room space. It's the same thing. Ghatakasha, and the example is with respect to pot space. And so just like the pot space is associated with Rajo Dhumadibhihi. So Rajaha means dust, pollution. And then Dhuma means smoke. So here the meaning is that just like the room space may be associated with dust, smoke, etc., but the other spaces outside the room are not. Similarly is the case with jiva. So we will define the jiva in a minute, but the jiva also, if you look at the jiva, it is not really associated with space. It is only associated with sukha dukkha. So we will comment on that. Okay. So going back to what Swami Maheshananji had pointed out, that there are 3 segments of objections. Like, for example, if you look at the Jains or a lot of other people, Jains I'm just taking as an example. I'm taking Jain as an example because they're really good people and their thinking is very similar to Vedanta. I remember when I was in the Jain temple, I don't remember the names of certain people, but I know them. So they'll say, Vijayji, I'm so happy you're teaching classes here. Your teachings and our teachings are very similar. I remember this conversation. This is about 6, 7, 8 years ago. So I said, oh, that's wonderful, wonderful. So then they said, then he brought up this question, which is, we have some differences. We think all the Atmas are different, and you think but it's okay, it's okay. Okay, so Swami Maheshananji also makes this is a very big discussion. He said, this thing about it's okay is the problem. Nothing is okay until it should be completely defined. It should be not saying, I have this doubt, you have that doubt, both of us are maybe wrong, maybe right, we are not sure. This is what is called, there is a word used here called vyavastha. This is a technical word in Vedanta called vyavastha. Vyavastha means exactly how the thing works. All the details of it. It should be without any doubt. This is exactly how it is. And so I'm not going into this. So the Purva Paksha says the Vyavastha is Anupapatti. It doesn't make any sense. The way you are explaining doesn't make any sense. Why doesn't it make any sense? So he gives 3 segments. Okay? So one is Kriya, one is Phalam, and one is called Dvandva. These are the 3. Let's take the last one first. Dvandva means different experiences. Someone is happy, someone is unhappy. How can you say they have the same Atma? It is very obvious. I don't want to even discuss it any further. Here is the evidence. So let's just accept the evidence that all emotions are different. Somebody is having a wonderful time. Swami Maheshananji says if you go to an apartment complex and on the top floor there is a death of the family and on the bottom floor there is a marriage going on. And he says they're completely different. Dvandva means they're totally different. So it's obvious you cannot have a single Atma. So this is one. Then the other one is Kriya. This is also a very interesting one. So the Kriya means the people who are acting in a particular role. They're doing something. So the Purva Pakshis argue that there is a person who has committed a crime and there is a policeman who catches the criminal. They are also kind of like a dvandva. One is a criminal, but anything it's more than that means that somebody is doing this, somebody is cooking, somebody is driving, somebody is teaching, somebody is doing this. Kriyas are all different. So I don't understand, how can you say it's a single Atma? Then the third one is phalam. So phalam means that the results of actions are all different. You run into an accident, then you are going to have a very big problem. And I'm sitting at home, not having an accident, watching TV. I have a different phalam. And you cannot say one phalam goes into, if you have a single Atma. So I'll just give you, I should really just write it out on the board because I'm doing this, but anyway, it's too lazy just for a few words. So one is called Vyavastha. You already know that. So Vyavastha means the exact arrangement is called Vyavastha. And arrangement means that a discovery of how the thing is actually working. It's called Vyavastha. The second word, for those of you that are interested, is called Sankaryam. Sankara. Not Shankara, but Sankara. So the effect of Sankara is called Sankaryam. Sankaryam means mixing up of things. Mixing up. One person, so one of the things on this is that one person commits a crime, and this also happens. This also happens where somebody else gets caught. And in fact, this is so tragic that there are people who are executed. The person says, I didn't do it. They say, yeah, everybody says you're not. Or some people get punishment for 20 years for a crime they did not commit. This is called Sankaryam. Means that it's a complete mixing up of things. It doesn't make any sense. The red becomes blue, blue becomes purple, purple becomes this. It's all mixing. This is called Sankaryam. So the Purva Paksha says, on the phalam side, that if you do that, that is Sankaryam. This is not Vyavastha, this is Sankaryam. These are the objections. To which we say, no. It is just because you are not understanding the Vyavastha. The Vyavastha is, there is a subtle accommodating principle which is not affected. You are mixing up pollution which can only happen in air because you need particles. So the Akasha is made up of particles, but so subtle that they almost do not have a form. This I am not absolutely sure of. It will be interesting to talk to Swami Tattvavidananda because he is much more science-oriented than I am, to see how the Akasha consists of. There is there's no form. All I can say for certainty is that the Akasha is so subtle that it has no form whatsoever, so they cannot have some particles. I don't know exactly what Vedanta says about it. It doesn't talk much about it, so it'll be kind of interesting. But the fact is, this is true. Now, a pollution, on the other hand, even the scientists know, depends upon nitrogen, carbon, this, that, or the other. This is well known. So we say, my dear Purva Pakshi, the changes that you are talking about are in the pollution, not in the Akasha. And the Akasha really does not change at all. So this is what he's saying in number 5, that listen. So here the example given is so beautiful, that suppose you have a pot, and in the pot you have a candle, just like the Dakshinamurti Stotram, Nana Chidrigadodaras Tita Mahadipa Prabhabhaswaram. So you have a big pot, any pot, doesn't matter big or small, And inside the pot, you have a candle. And supposing you have a kind of, you cannot completely cover the pot because you know what will happen if you completely cover the pot. Slowly the oxygen will go away, and the flame requires oxygen to it. Anyway, so you don't have to completely cover it, but doesn't matter. Inside the pot, you have a candle which is burning. And the candle is also giving out smoke. Outside the pot, there is no light. Maybe some escape light a little bit, but really speaking, there's no light outside. And there's no smoke outside. So here we can tell that in a pot, you have the basis of Akasha. Because in Ghatakasha also, Akasha is there, Mahakasha also, the word Akasha is there. In both cases, Akasha is there. But there is something more in a Ghatakasha, which is what? The Upadhi of the vessel. Upadhi of the vessel. And so this is the interesting thing. The Upadhi, which is the pot, can apparently subdivide the Akasha without really dividing it. This is the function of the Upadhi. This is how the creation is made. It's an apparent creation. From a Vyavahara standpoint, from a transactional standpoint, there is an apparent division, as it is happening very much in our classroom right here. So in fact, the owner of this building approached me just recently, just a couple of weeks ago, and said, can you please take both of these? We are willing to give you both of them, for a price, of course. And how would you like to do that? He asked me just a couple of weeks ago. And I said, JP, we cannot do that because the way the shape of these two rooms are, I cannot really conduct a class because it's too long. It's not very useful to me. If we had a more of a rectangular format, then like we were discussing in the Vaishnava Parivara, then we can do some other things. We can accommodate the Swamini that comes in with some more people, etc., etc. But I said, JP, this configuration really doesn't suit me. And of course, he was expecting, I think, that instead of paying, we are going to be paying $1,500 per month for this class. That's already been pretty much decided. And for that, I think he was expecting another $2,000. The other place is a little bit bigger. So now he was expecting $3,500 for both of us. And I can't pay $3,500. We cannot pay $3,500. Not I mean, you cannot pay $3,500. So I said, JP, that doesn't work. So here there is some discussion about the room space. There is no discussion about space. You cannot, space, there is no discussion. And, but room space, Ghatakasha, there is a discussion. Why? Because there is a setup. This is called Vyavahara. So therefore, we Vedantins say, listen, from a Vyavaharika Sat standpoint, it is okay to say, really the jivas are Vyavaharika Sat. The word jiva is very much like pot space, and in fact it is true that our bodies are like pots. Our bodies are like pots. Why? Because it is sthula sharira. Just like pot is a sthula sharira, therefore the body is also Sthula Sharira. And inside the Sthula Sharira, there are things happening. There's a brain, there's thinking, and there is wrong thinking, and there is right thinking, and there is criminality, and there is punishment, there is sukha, there is dukkha. All of these things, we don't deny it is there. But my dear Jainis, this is not the space. It is the seeming enclosure of the room through the upadhi called the walls. Yes, this is exactly how the creation is done. What a marvelous creation by Ishvara. Just think about it. There is a division without any division. There is segmentation without any segmentation. And while you are segmented, you can have sukha dukkha, and you can have purpose of life, and you can have children, and then there is death, and there is shoka, and there is all kinds of. Ultimately, nothing really happens. Atma is untouched by all of them. This is the teaching. So to say that it doesn't make any sense means that please understand it. This is how religions are born. That people, the original Vedic thinking doesn't need any help. We don't need new inventions by people and saying, oops, Vedas forgot this. Nothing has been forgotten. It's vyavastha. It works very well. And so if there is a new way, that means it is wrong. And there are reasons why people just want. Hence, all these things will be given here. In fact, in verse number 7, if I can move to number 7 for a minute just to make that point. He says, Yatha bhavati balanam gaganam malinam malaihi, tatha bhavati abuddhanam atmani malino malaihi. So he is equating people who are needlessly questioning the very fact to children. Balaihi. And what do the children do? When the children you cannot argue with them. To them, if there is a smoky akasha, it's a smoky akasha. You cannot say, there is no difference between akasha doesn't get changed. You can't make that distinction. Similarly, it's very funny how these experiences of the space occurs. The space is dark. There's no light. And how the darkness of the space, just you can imagine. These days when you get up in the morning and there is no light, you're just fumbling around. All kinds of funny things happen. Dark space. And probably the most interesting aspect is that the color of akasha becomes blue. You ask a child, what is the color of space? They look around and say, blue. Are you sure? Yeah, it's blue. They don't realize. This is a very interesting thing, by the way. Swami Dayananji had pointed this out. He says, for some reason, Ishvara has designated the color blue for infinity. This is why when there is so much depth in the sea, it becomes blue. Bluish green, something like this. Akasha is blue. Very funny. Really, how did this happen? So a bala means a child, does not know that the space does not have the color blue. How does the blueness comes in? I don't even know. Really, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know. But I know that the Akasha is not blue. It just appears to be blue. So similarly, he says, so now we can see almost the entire, we can just finish number 7. Yatha bhavati balanam gaganam malinam malayihi. That just like the sky appears to be polluted. And here I think the color is perhaps the best form of that. Tatha bhavati abuddhanam means one who have not inquired into. They just they can just go up to a certain point, and beyond that they don't want to really look into it. They may be capable. We're not saying that they are dullards or anything, but for whatever reason, they stop before the truth is accepted. Either they're impatient or they get misled by people, whatever the reasons may be, but it doesn't matter. So abuddhana means one who are not wizened up to it. That's why even the study of science is so beautiful. Really, you can see how, just simple things like when you put a stick in the water, how it looks bent. And the pressure, how it affects the boiling point. Here's so many. These are all vyavasthas. These are all exactly how it happens. How it looks to you is also part of the vyavastha. So Maheshananji says one time he took a few people with him to some Himalayan temple that was at a very high level. And as usually did, so these Mahatmas, they will have a couple of brahmacharis with them who are responsible for giving food to the teacher and taking care of it. And so they went to this very high mountain peak, some rest house that they were staying in. So they started cooking the dal, lentil. And usually they start the lentil cooking about an hour before the meal is served. So that by that time maybe the lentil is done, you can put some salt and pepper and so on, and then make a roti out of it. This dal would not boil. So Swamiji says, hey, is the food ready? So, sir, I just checked the dal, it is still very... And then they discovered at a high altitude, the things do not boil at the same time. It requires much more time. So they almost went hungry that day. And then the next day they said, okay, we have to start cooking it 4 hours ahead of time, not 1 hour. This is also vyavastha. Things are different, but there is a reason for it. So there is a blueness is there, but this is vyavastha. Blueness is there, even though the sky is not blue, it will appear blue. This is vyavastha. But that doesn't mean that it really became blue. You have to look into what the causes are. It's not as though from year such and such that the lentil will now no longer cook at 100 degrees temperature. It all depends upon the pressure of this is why the pressure cooker. What is it called? This new thing which we bought but we have not used it. Instapot. No, it is interesting talking about Instapot.
Can't live without
So everybody was saying you have to get an Instapot. So in our family 2 years ago, I think it was, I forget, I think it was 2 years ago, we had this gift exchange. Everybody does this, then you give this, and then you can choose, and you've seen. So we got the Instapot in the gift. So we were everybody was saying, you're so lucky you got an Instapot. Somebody got some pens and so on and so forth. So we were very happy. I have not used it. I think we have used it once for something. And it's just, and my wife makes so much fun of me. She says, you were so excited, and it is now lying there. And we were thinking of using it, but now another gadget has come along, which has now made Instapot this is called air, what is it called? Air fryer. So I think my wife was talking to some people and said, what you really want is an air fryer. Won't go for it. So I'm very happy we've not used Instant Pot. We have not gotten attached to it yet. So now as soon as I get some time, I'm going to go to Costco, and apparently it is available for about $75. So we have to get that one. Everybody's saying you have to do that. So now it is. So anyway, you can cook something very quickly. You know, these, for those of you that are maybe from Punjab, our favorite dal is this sabut moong, which is black in color. And just last night we went to somebody's house for Diwali, and they had that cooked. So that is our staple mother dal. Problem is it takes the longest to cook. But in a pressure cooker it cooks very quickly. Anyway, going back to the subject matter, what it means is how long it cooks. This is all part of the vyavastha. And so the vyavastha is, this is beautiful, just look at the creation of Ishvara. The vyavastha is that different jivas can have different experiences. But if you look into it, like you do not accept that the sky is blue, but you look into the very fact of what the sky is, does it have color or not, you find it doesn't. So therefore also the Atma, and that is the reality of who you are. And so at this point, when I am sukhi dukhi, I'm happy, I'm unhappy, I'm doing this, you are operating at a dreamlike level. Just like a dreamer also says, I'm happy, I'm unhappy, and so on. This is not the truth. Then it's a question of how do I find the truth? Why is it that I'm not free of it? That's a separate issue, but first we should see what the truth is. And so in the series of verses 5, 6, 7, and 8, even starting with even 3. So number 3 is, if you can just quickly revise that. Atma hi akashavat jivaihi ghata akashaihi iva uditaha ghatadivacha sanghataihi jatau etat nidarshanam. So we saw this already, that really the birth of jiva is like the birth of a ghatakasha, pot space. And the basic element of a pot space is space. The space is never born. So if you're talking about a birth, the birth is as if it is born. From Paramartha Satyam to Vyavaharika Satyam. This is how it is. So this is number 4. It started the whole thing. Then it says not only is it born, it may be that once it is born it stays like it. How can it? It also dissolves back into it. And the dissolution is not that the Akasha changes at all. It's not as though the Ghatakasha has made its own It's the beauty of it, that you have a pot space where you can do a number of things. You can have a candle, you can have dhumas and all kinds of stuff. But the space is never affected. So the dissolution, which is number 4, ghatadishu pralineshu ghatakashadayaha yatha akashe sampraliyante tadvad jiva atmani. And so the jiva is as though born. So we are as though, and it's a very funny thing how we are born again and again. When the basics, Atma is unborn, but it appears that I am transacting, I am born, I am going to die. So this is just due to non-enquiry, abuddhana. Then, as you know, we started today on number 5, that the objections from people is, how can you do that? Because the Atmas are all behaving separately. So we say that is not inconsistent with our own experience, that the Akasha without changing can have a partness to it, and within the partness you can do some funny things, put a candle out and so on and so forth. Then, so in the Vyavastha changes that is given in more number 6, Rupas Karya Samakhyascha Vidyante Tatra Tatra Vai Akashasya na Bheda Asti Tadvat Jiveshu Nirnaya. So he says Rupa Karya excuse me, Rupa Karya Samakhyascha. So Rupa means the forms, Karya means the various functions, and Samakhya means very a particular name to it, a name to it, which has a particular which Samakhya means, Akhya means one which is mentioned. Samakhya means one which is commonly known as. See, this is an interesting thing, going back to the example of a gold and the ornaments, our stock example. So you should remember this very well. These are things that we should really clearly understand. Our mind, our thinking, etc. should be very clear about this. So, suppose you say, you give a name to, like supposing there is an ornament and it's called a ring. So the name ring, that's what I'm talking about, Samakhya. So just idea struck me that I think you should talk about that. You should talk about that. When you say a ring is a name. And it's a name which is Samakhya. Samakhya means that it is a common name that all children have to learn to associate it with this funny, round, donut-like thing called ring. This is a ring. So now we have a name which has been assigned to a particular form of gold called the ring. And so now it has both Nama and Rupa also. So they are associated with each other. So, and Karya. You see, Karya means a function. Just look at it. All three of them are there. When you talk about a ring, it has a form. Not any ornament is called a ring, only a particular. It has a particular function. When you get married, you have to put, I remember when I got married and I was given a ring, and I cannot wear any rings on my, so I had to really apologize to my wife. She says, I'm so happy you're not, because I'm also not wearing it. It's wonderful, both of us, we took a pact, and that, I think she does wear it from if she goes to a party or something like this, but she takes it all out. And so there is a function, karya, and a name. This is interesting. So, when you say a name, so you see, here's the thing. We've done all this, there's nothing new, but I'm just reminding you about the way to think about these things. When you say a ring, every word and every form has a substance. Right? So when you say a table, you have a sense of what you're talking about. Can I please have a table? So this is a vyavastha. You have to say, okay, he wants a table. I don't want a chair. I already have a chair. I need a table. So the table has a function. It has a name. And it has a form. Supposing you ask for a ring, and you bring a ring. So I said, no, I don't want gold. I want ring. I want gold. So what do you mean? This is no. This is not a ring. This is gold. And so, really speaking, we have now a very interesting thing where there is two names for the same object. That should not happen. And it's not a synonym, by the way. Like in gold in Hindi is called sona. So, it's not sona, it's not gold. That is one object. And the ring is another name. There should be two separate objects, but they are not two separate objects. So if you look into it, what it is that the ring is nothing but gold with a name, form and function. Rupa Karya Samakhya. That's all it is. There's no real substance to it. It borrows all the substantialness from the gold. The weight of the gold is the weight of the ring. The look of the gold is the look of the ring. Everything is borrowed. But yet it has some kind of a function, some functionality, and so on. Similarly, when you say jiva, the jiva has some form, some function, and some name. Rupa Karya Samakhya. But the substance is the Atma. So Jiva is nothing but a Nama, Rupa and Karya. This we should see this. What I am walking around so proudly is like a ring who just completely forgets that I am gold and goes around and sells itself. I'm a very expensive thing and so on and so forth. It's all hollow. The Jiva's presence is really the shining of the Atma. It is the Akasha which makes Ghatakasha real. So this is what the teacher is trying to communicate. He says, Rupa Karya Samakhyascha Bhidyante Tatra Tatra Vai Akashasya na bheda asti tadvad jiveshu nirnaya. And so then in number 7, he says, na akashasya ghatakashaha vikara avayavau yatha na eva atmanaha jivaha vikara avayavau yatha tatha. So he says, this is also very interesting, that just like a ghatakashaha is neither a vikara nor a avayava of akasha. Important to see this. So, the ghatakasha does not modify the akasha. Vikara means a modification. So even in, it's very possible, this is interesting because in the example of gold and ornaments, one can argue that the ornament does change the gold a little bit. It has to melt it and you have to get it. So there is maybe a small vikara. Ultimately there is no vikara, but at least the thinking is there is a touching of the gold and making it different. And you can even say that the ring is part of the gold. You can say that. That is not inaccurate. So the part of the gold means avayava. And the modification is called vikara. So vikara avayavau yatha nasti. Akashasya ghatakashaha nasti. So there is no modification of the akasha to make into a room space. There is nothing to modify. You cannot touch it. At least in the gold you can touch it. There is some root, there is some form. In akasha there is no form. Similarly in the case of Atma, it's not as though, this is the thing that we should think about and meditate. An important thing to see. It's not as though you have to change yourself to understand the Atma. It's not as though right now I am not the Atma, but I will be. This is the classical definition of moksha. It's sometimes in the future I'll be free. Right now I am definitely not free. This is not a right statement. This is not the right thinking. Even when I think I am not free, I am free. This is the line of thinking that I have to pursue. How is that possible? And so this is what is called moha, etc. All of the moha is, this is what moha is. At the Vidyaranya Swami says this so nicely, and Swami Paramartha Mahishananji explained, moha is looking at your reflection and not realizing it is your reflection. This is the moha. You think this is me. What a stupidity it is. This is exactly what our situation is. So in the case of Akasha, as also in the case of Atma, there is no vikara. Why not? Because let it be some vikara. It cannot be. Because it is formless. Not as though it just doesn't happen to be. It cannot possibly be. So he says, na akashasya ghatakashaha vikara avayavau yatha na eva atmanaha sada jivaha. You have always been the same Atma. This is a very interesting and very important thing to see. That in every life, we kind of glom onto my form, and that becomes my identity. It's just like you start a new dream, and in that dream, that becomes your identity. This is who I am. All the time, that is not the case. You're the same waker. Similarly, as our acharyas say so convincingly, this is a great meditation that we should do, that in our entire life, and life is not meaning this life, but in my whole existence, for the last 50 billion years, as we don't know how, this is infinite, I'm the same up. Same up. And every time I take on a new function, I get married, have children, friends, and I have sukha dukkha. And then it ends. Lineshu pralineshu. But I don't understand it. My karana sharira is still there. And I say, I still have not understood who I am. So this moha continues. And in the meantime, the pot has become useless because it only has a limited life. And so the pot goes, and then you take a new pot. All the time it is akasha alone, not ghatakasha. So anyway, so this is a good section to look at too. Number 3, the basic element of 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 8 we have already done. Yatha bhavati balanam. It continues on for a little while longer, but this is the basic section that is pointed out, really important. Om swasti bhyapalantam nyayena margena mahim mahisha ko brahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam loka samastha sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasya shalini deshoyam shobharahitah brahmana santu nirbhayah sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayah sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kasyid dukkha bhag bhavet asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. If you have any quick questions, we can go over that, but I do want to talk about Swami Tattvavidanandaji's visit. So I'll open up just for a few minutes and have questions. Okay, so just wanted to, I think you all, is everybody aware that Swami Tattvavidanandaji is coming? You already know that. So just to give you an idea of what the program is, and then we want your help to promote it, is that downstairs in the main auditorium for 9 lights, he will be talking in the evenings. And then at lunchtime, we are going to have a series of classes here in this classroom. And so because the space will be limited, I think we can put in about 40-45 chairs here. So that I think we can do. So we will also have it broadcast in live for people that either cannot be accommodated or they would prefer to be at home doing something and so on. And so that will be 8 of them. And then on either Saturday or Sunday, we are still looking into it. There will be a satsang with some lunch along with it. So that's the program that we have. And the evening we will not broadcast live. They'll be recorded for seeing later, right?
We can broadcast, I think we should broadcast because people from out of town, they are requesting that we should broadcast. Because
But the only issue is that
other centers are
People
doing
don't-
it.
your attendance may suffer because of that. That's my only
Yeah, but
issue.
other centers are doing it, so in kind of they're requesting it also. You know, people from out of town, right?
But then we are on the West Coast, and so it gets late for others.
That's true, that's true.
And they can always look at it next day. Because we can put it as,
Sure.
you know,
Okay,
publish
that's
it
fine.
right
We don't
there.
wanna do it.
I think we should announce all this to let people know that it is being recorded.
Yeah.
But you can do it after the fact. I kind of think, don't you think? That's I'd like to have maximize the attendance here.
Yeah.
But the only, this is a special case in the sense that because they're out of towners, so we have to make a statement about the out of towners, okay, very clearly, so that we can put it on our website saying they find their own accommodation, we should get them to look at the Airbnb. That
Yeah,
we need to make a statement.
that information should be there.
Okay, so
And
this
so
should
that
go
they
in the
can make
newsletter.
their own arrangement.
Should go on the newsletter?
Sure, and I'll put it on the website also.
Okay.
I have also suggestion, like, I saw the last one, the information about, like, you know, when you're making flyers, the instructions for, like, accommodation or, you know, separate paragraphs, so that it stands out. Otherwise, there's so much information, people read it and then, you know,
Yeah,
it
we
may
can
not
do
be
that.
clear to them.
Yeah, we can do that. Sure. I don't expect that many people. Maybe 3 or 4 people, I would think. Not sure how many people would come.
Well, it was interesting, I was watching the video of the Phoenix, and I recognized several people there who are actually residents of New Jersey area. And you can see that they are there. They're all,
But-
most of them are retired people. But maybe they took advantage of the hosting capability in Arizona, and quite a few people surprisingly were there.
Yeah,
But total of 30 apparently, I understand that the morning class
between
attended about
3
30
of
people.
us,
Yeah.
there's only 3 people inquired.
Hmm?
Between 3 of us,
Yeah.
only directly approached, but only 3 people.
So far, possibly
So
some may have come.
I mean, I'm not saying they may not come or anything like that.
Yeah, I
but
don't
we
think so,
just
the big,
can-
That's
especially
fine.
because of Phoenix, that has already happened, so
Exactly.
people.
Maybe
Yes.
that's because they have opened up. And
Correct.
said that we're gonna provide hosting. Here, we've not volunteered that.
Yeah,
So let's at least be clear.
sure, sure, no, we'll do that.
That we, please
Okay.
make your own accommodation.
Then,
Yeah.
so I think we'll do that.
And-
Sorry, anything else you were saying?
No, so we were just looking at it because we have some information of the Airbnb places
So
and we
then,
can link
I'll
it.
be happy to compose an email, newsletter.
Yes, please.
So, but
Gopal and
give
I are
me-
waiting for that. So
So-
anything else that you need to add,
Yeah.
might as well do that.
One question is, should we have picture schedule,
Should not be on the, yeah.
not on the website, but publish it in a way that people can sign up?
Are there many open spaces left?
There are,
Okay.
I mean, there are so many dinners and so many lunches.
Yeah, I
2 meals.
did
So
see
I'll
a
just
few.
ask to say, I'll give your name and your
Yeah,
email.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, the next thing is distribution of flyers. We need to really,
Yes.
and so I need to talk to Madhu to engage with
That guy.
Arvind.
Yeah.
So that should still go on. And we're going to have a second insertion in the India West. I think one already is coming tomorrow, or I don't know when. But, so there'll be two insertions in India West, then Arvind, and also then supplemented with ours. So one idea was to discuss what other means we should have. I think Chawla discovered that WhatsApp is a good, no, not WhatsApp,
Neighborhood.
neighborhood.
Next door.
Next door.
Next door.
Next door neighbor.
Is everybody is active on Nextdoor?
Yeah, we have
Everybody sees it.
communities, depending on some communities have it, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good idea. So Chawla, if you can tell us exactly what to
If
do.
anybody has a problem, but I think you can copy and paste as if you are putting that, that's why I asked for electronic format, everybody should have that.
Okay.
And if they have it, then you can just copy and paste it on the next door neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's very
Get
easy.
it from the website or the electronic format, you can get it from the
Yeah,
website or?
you can
Yeah,
use it on
yeah,
the
you can,
flyer.
that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
that take
Yeah.
that,
Take
copy
the
it
flyer.
and put it into,
Your next door.
Take
next
the
door.
flyer is there.
yeah.
What else? How else can we?
I mean, that is a larger, everybody posts it, there's so many areas in their own and you
That
can
you
cover
can send
that.
it in your friend circles also, right? You can
Correct.
have a group
Oh,
of
that, yeah.
friends.
Facebook is
That might be
another
more
one, all those
personal,
are
yeah,
done.
if we send it personally, that might be
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
appropriate.
Then I think what we should also do, as I mentioned to some of you in my email yesterday, that we should make a list of who's putting it where,
Yes.
you know, in some central place so that we don't have a lot of overlap and we can do that. And I can request all the class members to do so. But they have to pick it up, I don't know how they're going to pick it
Yeah,
up.
well, Rajesh and everybody was saying that they are coming to pick
Supposed
it
to.
up, but
Yeah,
is Rajesh here?
You have them today?
Yeah, they are,
Yeah,
I have it.
it's right there.
Yeah, you can bring it out now.
So are we putting it in the temples? Otherwise, like, I can go put it in the Sanatan Dharma calendar on my day.
Yeah, please do. So whatever you can, please do. And I think what I want to do is to have a central file where you say, Kalpana has already done it here, you do someplace else.
If we did,
I
how
can-
would we know where Arvind puts it, so that we don't duplicate that? We can keep our file perhaps, but what about the ones that Arvind?
Kumud was telling me in the entire area she never saw a single one.
I know,
I don't know.
that's what I feel
She was
because-
very disappointed. So I don't know where,
If it gets put up too early, then they have a tendency to take it off after a few days.
possibly
So
that
we have
might
to
be the
keep it
thing.
Very late, but now we're in 2 weeks now, right?
Yeah,
So it should be okay, I think.
Can you put one over downstairs somewhere?
No, they won't allow that.
They don't?
And that
Because
doesn't.
remember last
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
there are a
Ayurveda.
couple of people came.
Get rid of Ayurveda, actually. Today, there's a conference going on.
maybe we could leave some there.
Somebody asked us, actually, we told them.
That's what I'm saying, last time Swami Paramatmanandaji's, there were people came down from this building and asking us
One thing I made a
information,
mistake.
and we got the,
One of the things we should do is we need to have a stand. So that was, I saw that in this company.
Say again, for what?
You know, it's just like
So you don't stick things
you
on
don't
the
stick
wall.
things on the wall, you don't leave it on the table, but there is a nice stand. That's available from this online store. I saw that for the first time. I said, wow, that's a good idea.
Isn't that just a frame you get?
Yeah, you can get
Just
a-
frame,
Just
not
like
a
a
glass
design.
frame or plastic.
Yeah.
frame.
Yeah, you can put it in any
Yeah.
frame, it's
Photo
not a
frame
big deal.
or,
Like in the
Foam,
library
yeah,
station.
foam, you just
but-
put a foam backing to it, right?
Yeah,
That
but
would
you
be
don't
fine.
even need to put a foam back, you can,
Yeah, just slide it
you
into
know,
the
you
frame.
can just slide it in and either use it.
But it
where
needs
do
to
you
be
put
done.
that frame?
Somebody has to
Yeah,
do
in
it.
any store.
What
No,
is
no,
it?
where do you?
For what? For the
where-
building?
where do you-
Wherever, like, for example, in.
Different, like in temples or somewhere where it is visible.
Oh, they'll
That's a
steal
good
the
idea.
frame.
Like, for example, if you go to an Indian grocery store, they don't want you taking taking
don't
up
want-
the counter space.
No, they're not there,
Oh.
not in the grocery store.
That you have to go on the, where they allow the
Right.
advertisements.
Anyway, I'm going to take a few and ask Madhu to, in fact, I don't know whether we should keep it at some central place or where should it be?
Here
Because-
is the right
Yeah.
place.
Here is the right place.
One other thing
Yeah,
you
you
could
can
do,
ask
because you said people from the building were asking about it, is get one of those tripod stands that folds up, put it at the entrance to where the talk is with a big poster. So people will see what's happening. They'll know what it is, and they'll say, oh, I can come tomorrow then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That we will do
did,
once
that's
it-
how-
once
that's
it
how- yeah,
starts.
Last time we did
Yeah.
that,
Once it starts.
so that's how, but once it starts, right?
Yeah.
Not,
But it's for many days,
Ahead of
so
time.
people will see for the
yeah,
other.
but sometimes, you know, I'm just saying,
Sure.
But like today, Ayurveda guys are having a seminar, and lots of people are coming
maybe
in.
you should just put.
You
No,
can put it at,
so
make
that
one
would
ahead of
be-
time,
yeah.
put it just outside
So
the
we
door,
should
we
put
have
one
ones.
there. yeah.
Correct.
It's just outside their facility.
Well, there I think we can leave maybe 10, 15 of these,
Correct.
8.5 by 11.
And I think our website is there, so I told, at least I met one guy, and I told him about it, he was excited about it, so.
Good. Okay.
So the Vaishnav temple, Chandra, you will be putting it in the Vaishnav temple? Okay. So I'll put it in the Sanatan Dharma Kendra today.
Okay, good. All right. Okay.
And I can, if Rajesh is not here, I can take some and give it to Shweta on Monday or class.
No, I think he will come for the,
He'll
if
come
he's,
for the
for the
Gita
Gita class. Yeah.
We're not meeting on that.
We're not meeting this Monday.
Oh, that's right.
They're small ones,
These are small ones, yeah.
because I live near the Fremont Intertown.
Oh, wonderful.